everyone. Welcome to the first episode of the Australian Herpetoculture podcast for 2022. How you going, buddy?
Mate, I have missed your face.
I know. We didn't really speak much over the break, did we? We did a little bit when, what happened in the YouTube video, and we'll probably get into that later on. But other than that, man, we didn't really speak much, did we? My wife's sick a little bit on my face, probably. So.
No, I think it was a much-needed break for both of us in multiple aspects, but I'm sure you loved it, just hanging at home with the family and soaking all that in.
It was definitely good on that regard, for sure. I had big plans to get stuff done, but, the weather kind of dampened a lot of that, and physically. COVID, and a bit of COVID here, and I haven't got COVID yet, but, I know quite a few people that have, so... Oh. Get tests, isolate for a few days, this and that, and
it's an arsehole.
Yeah.
I don't even think we're a minute in and I've already said arsehole, but that's all right.
Yeah.
It is an arsehole.
Yeah, it hasn't been the best start of the year, but other than that,
it's been rough.
Yeah,
it's been rough.
Well, you had a rough kind of end of the year, I guess, wasn't it? More so.
Yeah, animal-wise was.
Yeah,
animal-wise it was more December, but yeah. COVID running rampant at the moment, that's just made work a hell of a lot more stressful, I suppose. So, are you going back to work anytime soon?
Yeah, I started on Monday. Went back on Monday.
Oh, okay,
but we've got a few guys off with COVID, and I'm going to try and run around and do 4 guys worth of work.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And it's no one's fault. It is what it is. But you're doing the same thing. So I think I offered to come down and give you a hand too, didn't I?
You did. Yeah. As much as I'd like to go, that's cool. I didn't want to throw you in the deep end working retail.
Yeah. So, but no, it's what do you do, eh? It is what it is, man. I mean, it's only a matter of time before everyone gets it. So
that's it. You just got to hope that when you do get it, it's not that strong, or it's pretty sweet. So yeah, hopefully. One of my mates messaged me yesterday and he's like, what's up, I'm bored as hell sitting at home playing video games. He tested positive, but he's completely fine, so he's just got a week off. He's on the couch drinking beer and playing games.
I know a few. My parents have got it at the moment. They tested positive yesterday and maybe the day before, and mum just had a little bit of a headache, and that's it. And dad, nothing. He was just smashing his beer like he always does.
It's funny, hey?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, I guess. It's, Yeah. But it seems to be everyone's suffering at the moment. There's a company at work, I think they're a steel fixer company, and they've got 120 blokes on the books. I think 80 of them have COVID at the moment.
Jesus. That's a good haul.
Yeah, they're struggling, but... We
had an email yesterday from Biosupplies saying that they're shut down at the moment because all their staff have got it.
Yeah, so, I think because I usually used to order from them, so I think I got something that was similar as well. I heard something somewhere about it, so
it is what it is. We went down to a bit of a skeleton crew of about, I think we had 4 or 5 of us working at any given point, which is about half the team on some of the days. So a lot of the maintenance side of things was starting to get a little bit stretched thin, but it is what it is. You just kind of have to do what you can do and run around and do everything else in between. And stock's so hard to get at the moment. That's probably the biggest problem.
It's like that with everything.
Yeah. We waited like 2 weeks or something for our rodent delivery to come in. And usually that's kind of like a few day turnaround if you order at the right time of week.
Yep.
So everyone was jumping up and down. And of course we're getting yelled at because we've got no stock on the shelf. So
people just don't get it, do they? They think
no respect for retail workers.
No.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of those things.
Yeah, I knew what I signed up for.
Yeah. I
don't think I'll do it again, though.
No. Did you get up so much over your break?
Not a hell of a... Well, I didn't have a break.
That's right, you worked through. You had a few days off, though.
Yeah, I got 3 days off over Chrissy, and I went down to see my family for that, so I actually got to get away, which was good. It's kind of nice not looking at the animals so much for those few days and being able to go down and actually see my family, because I haven't seen them since... pretty much COVID outbreak.
So you saw your parents?
Yeah, my family.
So they're down in Yass or something, aren't they? Or that way?
Yeah, just outside of Yass. So it was good. It's good to get it down there. Mum and Dad have just bought a new place. They've got a 3.5 acre property, so it's just in the middle of a bunch of kind of smaller properties, if you want to call it that. But that was awesome, man. Saw a bunch of frogs. got a ace and long neck that decided to walk up and headbutt the door as well, which was pretty cool. So
pretty cool.
My brother was just sitting down having a drink. Like we were just having a JD and Coke, I think, at the end of the night. And he's like, what the hell's that? And there's just a turtle against the glass.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, well, I've got heaps of frogs in the yard at the moment. I've gone from like never having any frogs. I have heaps of skinks. I've always heaps of skinks, but never had any frogs in the yard. And this season, there's like, it's heaps of them. It's awesome.
That's good. I like seeing them bounding around because you kind of, it gives you faith that they're still out there in decent numbers, So
I was a bit worried at one point because I hadn't heard them. I thought that maybe the chytrid fungus had kind of gone into my area, but they're coming out in droves now, so it's good.
Oh, that's good at least.
Yeah.
There's a positive there.
Yeah, exactly. One good thing to come of it, so.
Yeah. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining in this chat. We got tons of you saying good day over there. So thank you, everybody, for joining in. Hope you're enjoying listening to our ugly mugs yapping on again. But, thank you for coming back again this year. Something I did want to touch on quickly, and I know that, this got brought up in the AHP chat, but unfortunately we've lost the great Gunther Schmieder. He's no longer with us, unfortunately, which is a very sad thing to have had happen.
It is, definitely. But
so condolences go out to his family and his loved ones, of course, and anybody that was close to him, of course. I mean, we didn't know him personally, but we loved his work, loved his books and that. Yeah. So, very sad loss for the reptile keeping hobby and also the fish keeping hobby. He was an avid fish photographer as well. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So. Is that your brother giving you a bit of stick, mate?
That is my brother.
I don't even know where my mouse is. I want to try to bring that up. I don't know where that's gone. Yeah, so
good old family, eh?
Oh yeah, got to roll them up every now and
that's
then.
It.
Otherwise, it's not worth it. Yeah, mate. So what's been happening with you? Anything new? Any other new additions to the collection that we can talk about yet?
Nah, nothing yet. So, but it was good actually over the break. I got to catch up with Tyson.
Oh, cool.
See, he's got to feed his monitor. That was awesome.
Oh,
yabbies. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
Good fun.
So, yeah,
good fun.
Yeah, they're awesome. Yeah, because I've watched his videos heaps, and obviously I didn't realize he's heaps close to me. So
really?
It's like 15 minutes away, and then like we've been meaning to catch up a couple of times, but just stuff got in the way, and then went down to his place, and it was awesome.
Yeah, I'd love to see all his stuff. I've got to come up to the coast. I know we were going to catch up.
Yeah, we were going to,
as well, but your little one got crook.
Kids were sick, and we're like, oh, well, yeah. And then the missus got a bit sick, so we went and got the COVID test, but no, it was all negative. So I thought, no, I'll let you know straight away rather than, come up here and just in case we were positive. So,
yeah, well, better safe than sorry. I mean, we're all bound to get it at some point, but, I appreciate the honesty at least.
Yeah, well, at least I wouldn't be the responsible one for giving it to you. That's awesome. I know Tyson's got a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes that no doubt he'll probably come on here and have a chat about when he's ready. So it'd be exciting to see all that sort of stuff that he's up to. I want to see a few things that he's up to without mentioning anything. But I'll have to come up and then we'll go over there and have a beer. So
that sounds good.
It's an awesome room to just sit down and drink beer in. Hey,
yeah. Well, it looks like it's very spacious.
It is. It's basically like I'm going to say it's almost like a double garage.
Yep.
And it's like everything's around the outside. And he's got like a couch in the middle, TV set up. I'm like, that's exactly what I want. Somewhere you can just, once the kids are in bed kind of thing, you just come down, crack your beer, and it's your space. You just sit there with your feet up. Yeah. But in saying that, though, I love kids coming down here. Like we were all down here today, the two kids and the missus, and we're feeding the boys forest dragons, and I've got some more super worms because the girls are gravid again. So I thought I'll just give them a bit of a treat, pump them up a bit, and as soon as he sees those super worms come out, my son, he's like, "No, Dad, tweezers are mine," and just pushes me out of the way. They're just like, I think I sent you a video. Him tweets and that's just him. Like he just wants to keep feeding them. You just keep feeding them, so get a bit of extra fat on them. So, but they're both gravid again, so that's pretty good.
Oh, that's wicked.
Yeah, 4 out of the 5 eggs that I got last time are fertile, so that's pretty good.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Pretty stoked with that. So
that's a good haul. I've got 2 out of 4 out of like her 5th clutch that she decided to drop for this year. Like she just kept dropping them. I'm like, you can stop. Like, I don't care. But yeah, I'm trying to really back off the food with my girl now, just to try to like stop that ovulation cycle. So
yeah, which is fair enough. Yeah. Like I didn't care if I got fertile eggs or not, but it was just pretty awesome. So
yeah, you gotta love a few of these comments coming through from the guys here. It's everyone's been really keen to get in here. I like that. Escaping the impending doom of Rona by jumping in the reptile live stream. Yeah, good on you, mate. That's the way to get into it.
Hopefully we can provide some isolation.
Yeah,
for everyone.
Yeah, well, that's it. You know, everyone's going through it, mate. Everyone's going through it. I know a young fella at work. He's so keen to come back to work at the moment, but because his dad tested positive on New Year's Eve or day. So they've been like locked down for a while now as it spreads through their household. But he's trying to get his hands on an antigen test at the moment just so he can come back to work.
They're so hard to find. I fluked it like twice. Went down to the shopping centre, bought the groceries, and I looked up. And there was a guy at the cigarette counter. I'm like, oh, what's he getting? I saw him get it. I said, oh, just grab some while I'm here just in case. Yeah, it would be handy to have. And then sure enough, it was handy. And then the next time I was there, I did the same thing again. And I turned around. The second time there's 2 people in front of me. And I grabbed some more. And then I turned around and there was probably, I'm going to say it was a queue of like 40 people out the door just lined up to get some. I was like, what are the odds of that? Yeah. So
flukes.
I know. So yeah, I've got some there ready to go if I ever need them. So
my boss ordered some, I think on the 2nd or 3rd of January. And they're like, yeah, that's all good. They'll be delivered to you on the 26th of January. It's like, that's so far away. But, so we're just kind of holding on by the skin of our teeth until then. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm only going to use mine if we used some recently because we thought we had the symptoms, but they came back negative. But mine had a weird funny line on it, and I Googled it, and it's like, could be positive. So I went and got the proper test done. That came back negative. So
yeah, well, that's good.
Yeah.
Have you got any other updates as far as like your frog enclosures are going? Did you get a chance?
So just here, they're pretty well settled in now. The moss is going berserk on this. So I've got on that rock ledge there, those backgrounds, they got like a little bit of a ledge kind of down the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
So I've just got some moss from in the backyard basically and set them up in. I got a tub sitting down basically where you can see that box where my hand is. There's a tub there that I've got a light on to grow moss in and this and that. Chuck the moss in and it's spread from like a 20-cent piece to basically over that whole ledge.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's gone nuts. I just got to top the water level off a bit. These last few humid days kind of dropped down a little bit and then chuck a few branches in and they'll be in there.
Oh, wicked.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure the plants had a bit of time to settle. Moss I've got a couple of different types of moss, all local ones. Yeah. But I chucked in the incubator at 40, I think it was like 45 degrees for a couple of hours just to make sure there was no chytrid fungus in it.
Yeah.
And then, and obviously I set up that chameleon gecko enclosure as well.
That looked awesome.
That turned out really good. The leaves on the vines are starting to die off a bit. So, but there's a plant that looks similar. I think it's a Hoya australis, I believe it might be, maybe off the top of my head, that I'll probably chuck in there just to achieve the same look. So that background came up a treat, what you did. So,
well, it was a simple background, but I think that for what you were going to do for it, it just made it work. It wasn't like over the top or anything like that. So, did you end up sticking any sort of like moss or anything in those cracks?
I've got sphagnum moss in the cracks at the moment.
Yeah.
But we were chatting the other day and you made up that rain little system you had doing with your frogs. And I was thinking of doing something similar, like a drip line down into those cracks.
Yeah.
Either trying to get some moss to grow. But so we went up for a bit of a drive with the kids the other day and we found a Australian native rainforest nursery like 10 minutes up the road. So it's only open to the public on a Friday. So we're going to try and go in there because I want to try and get some native, like, the ferns that grow out of the rocks, like I think it's a creek ferns. I think it's a Cristilla dentata or something along those lines, I think they call it. trying to get that to maybe grow out of those cracks to basically look like, you look in the forest and you see the ferns growing out of the cracks. Basically, that's pretty much what I want to do.
Yeah.
So,
But you see that so often, right? So it'd be so cool to be able to mimic that. That's
exactly.
Yeah, that'd be absolutely perfect.
So that's the plan anyway. And then, but I'll probably just end up spraying it at the moment. So
okay.
Rather than doing the whole drip line and this and that, I'll probably just mist it every day. I just need to find more Mist King nozzles as well. They seem to be hard to come by at the moment.
There's a lot of them stashed here, mate. You never know. I'm sure we'll get into this conversation later, but you might end up with a few depending on what you decide to do. I'm just trying to figure out how to share a photo. I'd like to share a photo of your enclosure on here. I just saved a copy of it real quick, but
if you go open up here you go. Hang on, I'll get my Instagram up. Give me 2 seconds, and I will see if I can bring up a photo.
Yeah, because I really enjoyed it. Like it was such a simple background to build. Like I knocked that out real quick, but I think in that actual in that enclosure with the kind of style that you're doing in there, you don't really need that kind of crazy ledgy backgrounds and things for those geckos. I don't reckon. It's just something to kind of take the edge out of the black background on the PVC enclosure.
Yeah. So did that pop up anywhere?
That popped up for me. Yeah. Let me see if I can bring this in. Yeah, so there's a good look of it.
Yeah. So that vine, the couple of these leaves down on the left side above the logo, they're they're still going, but the leaves up the top and the middle are starting to die off.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there's like an area of vines and this and that you can tell it's like near the parkland that they regularly clear. So, but those cracks you can see in the back that you've done for the people watching and listening at home, they're the ones you can see. I've got a vine coming out of the middle. I'm not a vine, sorry, a
little fern or something.
So that's actually out of the backyard. I had a couple of other ones, but they died. I don't know what species it is. I tried to use that Cam from Cam's Custom Background sent me this app you can ID plants on. It came up with an ID, but it's something. I think it's a different actual fern altogether. So
yeah.
But I'd like to try and get rid of the sphagnum moss out of there and try and grow some different types, maybe some clump moss or something along those lines. But the sphagnum's good just if I'm going to try and get a plant to grow out of it to keep the roots moist and give them something to grow up to. So because you can germinate a few of those ferns in moss as well. So be something cool. But I mean, I've got the branch in that enclosure. The Mist King was on before. That's why it's all wet. I've got the branch in that enclosure. That's just it's gone even more nuts. Hey, like it's touching the front now. Like I have to prune it back. It's literally mental. So.
Yeah, I've never heard of that happening before. No, hey, where somebody's just taken a branch and it's still alive and then starts growing in an enclosure.
I've had it happen before, but it died off. Like it grew, sprouted, died. Yeah. But this thing's just gone nuts. Like, so I sent you a picture. God, it might have been a few days ago in the chat.
Yeah.
And it's literally gone mental again. Like even bigger. It's literally like so that the basically there is where the branch is, where my finger is.
Yeah,
it spans across the other side of the enclosure.
Really?
Yeah, it's basically.
Does it only start? I remember you sending me a photo originally. It's like this little tiny shoot like this, and you're like, "Oh, how cool is this?"
There's probably about 40 shoots now. I've got shoots coming out of it down the middle as well, like the middle of the branch. But it basically runs. So there's a 45. No, it's a 60. There's a 60 centimeter. Or maybe it is a 45. Can't remember how big the LED light is I've got in there, but it's the length of that now. Some of the branches, so it's pretty awesome.
Got to be happy with that, right?
Yeah, I was pretty stoked. I would be interested to dig it up and see if there's roots coming out of it. There'd have to be.
I reckon there'd have to be some sort of root system going to it, actually drawing nutrients in from there, because I don't think it's going to be getting all its nutrients just from the light. It'll have to be taking some stuff in from that soil.
Yeah. So it'd be pretty cool to there you go. Ash just asked, do I know if there's any roots? No, I haven't had a look yet. I'll probably actually, to be fair, it's kind of where the female lays, so I'll probably know pretty soon because she's gravid again. She was testing again the other day in a different spot, so hopefully she lays in that spot there again, and I can dig it up and have a quick look. So, but that's it's pretty awesome. So,
I reckon you definitely have to do that just for your own interest's sake.
Yeah,
I'd be interested too. Yeah, Just when she does lay, like just disturb it once, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And put it all back.
Yeah. Tell you what, those frogs of yours are annoying, mate.
I was just going to say, I just heard him going.
He hasn't been too bad. There he goes again. They're awesome, those frogs. My missus can find them every time she comes in. She can find every single one of them. She comes in. There it is. I'm like, how the fuck did you see that? I have to take her herping one time. She'll be like, bang, 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 bang.
Eagle eyes.
Yeah. But, she's, she loves them. Loves the frogs. And it's awesome because you can hear them just like croak every so often. And we'll be out in the backyard and so I'm like, oh, it's frogs. And we'll run inside and he tries to find the snails that you got down in the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
There every time as well. He's got a little magnifying glass. He brings his magnifying glass in and he's like, it's so cool.
I'd need a magnifying glass to find those snails as well, to be honest.
One of them, no joke, is the size of a 20-cent coin.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
One's probably half the size, but it's grown heaps since it's been here. But the other one's about a 20-cent coin now.
I'm not surprised that they made that trip, though, because, as much as I drained the water out of the bottom of that, if there's any sort of moisture left in the bottom, then they just kind of shove up shell and call it a day until the water comes back. And it was only a short
trip anyway, so, as soon as I got home, I basically sat it on the rack and filled it back up. It was on the floor for a while. Sat on the floor, filled it back up, and then I drained it out to get it up on the rack, so...
Have you done any sort of, reshuffling yet in your room?
I've shuffled the room in general, so I've got, this desk used to be over that side.
Yeah.
Shuffled all that around. And obviously, I'll probably reshuffle it again. I'm trying to work out the best layout.
Because it definitely looks different to the last time I saw you, because, before everyone was looking at the bookcase behind you.
Yeah,
so that's
the
that was the biggest thing that threw me.
Where these are, the bookcase is now along, that way. It's in the same spot.
Okay.
They're pretty much the door opens and misses the rack that they're sitting on. But I did that before the Christmas show, but obviously I had terrible internet connection, so I was on my phone for most of it, so I was just kind of standing there looking at my screen. But we're just trying to work out because I got the other rack that you could see when we first started, that's still got basically just going to have all my wife's work stuff on it kind of thing. So but
no. It's looking good, man. I enjoyed that Christmas show. Hey, as much as we were all having some sort of technical difficulties, I know you were struggling for a fair bit there. Tyson had some funny microphone stuff going on, but it was good fun to have all the lads on and just kind of talk a little bit of banter. Talk about what was going on with the animals and positives, negatives, all sorts, basically. It was, it was good. It was a bit weird kind of having so many people there.
But in a way, it was good just to get everyone's different opinions and point of view.
Yeah, 100%.
Good way to wrap up the year too. And I know Matt was trying to listen to it. He said in the group chat he hadn't listened to it yet. And Scott was saying, how's he going to get his head through the door?
It was definitely blowing a bit of smoke up his bum. That's for sure.
But, what do you do, eh? It's a good episode. So a lot of people listen to those ones, which is pretty good. But it's just good to hear some of the stats from where some of the people were listening from and this and that. And you can kind of see it's picked up. The more we do it, the more it's picked up. The more people that have downloaded, even older episodes, you can see people have kind of jumped on board and listened to the older episodes towards the end of the year. So,
have you been getting some personal messages in your inbox about it? Because I've been getting quite a few.
Yeah, I've had a few. Yeah. No, it's good. It's good to hear. So you got that? Did you actually you got that awesome one that you posted on your page?
I've been meaning to call him.
Well. So did you get his details?
I ended up finding him because he ended up contacting me, and I ended up kind of clarifying with Brody about that too. I've been swamped over Christmas, but I actually plan to give him a bell and have a bit of a yarn to him. But his name, I'll give it to you here, is Jerry McCarthy. So Jerry was the young fella that's been listening to the podcast and watching my YouTube and stuff like that, and really keen. And he was the one that went and saw Brody Jamison down at the zoo, and was chewing his ear off about I think it was a children's python enclosure. So I think Brody was showing him a hell of a lot of stuff with some T5 bulbs and deep heat projectors and stuff like that. So I actually want to call him though. I just want to sit down and have a conversation with him and and see if I can give him anything, or give him any tips or anything like that. Because I don't know, we need to awesome. Push that stuff,
Yeah, definitely. No, that's good to hear. Yeah, really good to hear.
Sorry for absolutely butchering your name there, Jamison. I just realised I was calling you Brody for a second there. Sorry, mate. Yeah. So that was really cool. I really enjoyed that. But I obviously, when I got back from Christmas, I had a pretty crappy time the day that I got back from my Christmas holiday, because I've been having a rough trot, mate. Trot.
You put your video out, so we might as well chat about that now, eh?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to throw it out there actually, just because before I wanted to throw it out before we jumped on and did this, so then we could talk about it and we can get it all out in the open. And it is something that I think we need to talk about more, and then that way people might not feel so secluded if they're having any issues or anything like that. We keep animals, so it all goes to shit sometimes, basically.
Yeah, so, pretty much too.
I had it rough, man.
Because it started off with your Felicipota, didn't it?
Yeah. So it started off with a Felicipota, which we talked a fair bit about in the Christmas episode. But basically, long story short, is I moved my Felicipota into a new enclosure that I'd just built just next to the desk. The enclosure was built for a couple of weeks before I moved them into there, and over the course of the first week to 10 days that they were in there, they essentially dropped off, and wasn't 100% sure why that happened. Still not 100% sure. A few people after that
sent me the message first where the first one went, and because I had something similar, and I had a bad batch of crickets, but when that happened to me, I had not just one animal go, I had different animals, different enclosures go.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought I was at bad crickets, but then you're like, nah, it's just this one. And then obviously the cage mate went as well.
Yeah, and look, if it was bad crickets, I feed the same batches of crickets.
That's what I mean. You would have had other things go, because I had the same thing. I had a bad batch of crickets, and then other stuff went as well. It wasn't just the one gecko.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just doubt. I can't rule it down to that. No. After talking to so many keepers, including Matty Somerville, if he's listening, so many people came back and said, I don't think that the temperatures that you were getting to was that hot. See,
I kept mine on heat too.
That's what I thought. These guys had a little heat mat. It was only a little 5-watt heat mat or a 7-watt heat mat in a crack of the enclosure, which got up to 32 in the crack. And then they could get down to, I think the hottest part of those days was getting down to about 26, 27 in the cooler end of the enclosure. So
that's still where they're from though.
Well, they come from the Kimberley, right?
Exactly.
I haven't been to the Kimberley, but I have been to Darwin and that, and it's fucking hot.
I assume it's pretty. I mean, I know there's microhabitats and this and that, but
of course,
I'm sure a lot of those microhabitats are still 26 plus degrees. So I don't think,
Yeah.
And like you said, you got leaf tails above them as well.
Well, that's it. And, Wyberba of all leafies as well, they're usually associated with, granite caves and boulders and stuff like that. They're pretty cool climate animals. It's not like it's Cornutus above them or anything like that. Although Cornutus are above me over here, which is, higher in the room again.
Yeah.
So they're fine. The boids there are fine. Green trees are fine. Prickly forest skinks. What else have we got? Plenty of geckos in this room that probably should be a little bit cooler.
Yeah.
It is what it is at the end of the day. But one guy actually brought up an interesting point on my video. That's something I want to test at some point. I don't think it's going to be an issue, but he said, "What was the pH of your soil?" So
that's true.
He started thinking about that, and he's like, just in case the geckos happen to be absorbing a bit through the skin or they're licking through something. But then I go, okay, well it's a good thing to raise. But again, I've got so many animals with this same soil made by that certain person, so everything else is okay.
Yeah.
And we're talking geckos as well, so I'm not 100% sure, but I'm putting it down to shit luck, timing.
Stress too, because you did get them recently and then transferred them again.
Yeah. So they seemed like they were pretty happy in the little enclosures. I never actually saw them eat crickets physically, which Matt actually said that he never sees his eat crickets, but same as Matt is. I ended up having enclosures full of shit, so it's coming out the other end. You kind of call that good.
Exactly. So, yeah. Usually, if they don't eat too much, don't shit too much. So, I mean, I saw mine eat, but that's nor here nor there. It could, different
animals get
different
shy.
Animals, yeah. And like I said, yours are only young too. Mine were older, so being that little bit younger.
They were still big though. Like they were still a decent sized gecko. They weren't like they were hatchies or anything like that. Like they were about a year old.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I think it could have been stress related too.
If I'm going to put it down to anything, I think it's going to be a combination of that. The enclosures that they were in were a little bit dimmer. Like I didn't have that bright a light above them, and then putting them into this system where they did have proper daylight. Although that they had all the cracks so they could go and hide in and all that. Maybe that was a bit of a stress. Maybe going into an enclosure together was a little bit of extra stress. Just because there's another gecko there. Obviously new smells, new environment, bigger enclosure, all that sort of stuff. Like it all adds up. So I kind of put that down to just stress, bad timing. Maybe I needed to do something a little bit slower. Something that was brought up with me multiple times, which I can agree to an extent, is like using the tile pointing and how it gases off. So, something I always do with my enclosures, I don't just kind of finish a tile pointing enclosure and then chuck the animal in the next day. I try to at least give it a week to like properly cure. I tend to kind of spray down the enclosures and stuff as well, just to try to run any sort of residue or anything off the enclosure. A lot of that can be done when you're doing like your black washes and stuff like that with the acrylic paints as well. So shit happens. I think it's just one of those things.
Natural silicon.
Yep. It was literally 100% silicon from work. Like it was aquarium grade silicon.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So, stuff happens.
Yeah.
It's just what it is. But that was the tip of the iceberg, mate. That was the tip of the iceberg. And we're going to delve a little bit deeper into this because obviously it's a bit of a rehash of my video anyway. But in saying that, I think it's important to talk about this sort of stuff. And I know a few people here have said, thanks for sharing this sort of stuff, which is awesome. So I appreciate everybody's support that has given me support on that video because it was a bit hard to make. And kind of had to bite your lip for a little bit there because it was it's not nice to talk about this sort of stuff, but at the same time, it's important.
That's right.
So I think the next thing that I actually found the green tree pythons after that. Yeah. So two of the hatchy green tree pythons have developed an enlarged heart, which is really crap because it's just kind of like watching them slowly deteriorate and just waiting for the time to go, okay, I think this is enough. They're not going to eat, time to call it sort of thing. So that's been a massive kick in the teeth. Just it seems they all did so well first thing off the bat. I'm
getting more feeding and this and that.
Oh, my roller coaster high, mate. I was at the top of the peak and then all of a sudden it's just gone.
Yep.
Back down to the bottom. So, unfortunately, one of them, he's looking shocking. One of the other ones that's got the slightly enlarged heart is a lot better. Like it's got way more weight on it. It ate more meals. I'm kind of just giving it a few weeks to see if it just sort of settles down or maybe the heart sort of shrinks up a little bit. I'm not 100% sure, but I've got a little bit of hope for that one yet. So we'll see what happens there. But another tough blow to kind of come home to that and go, oh man.
Yeah.
Just another thing on the list. And I think the biggest blow that I had was coming home from my family's place for the weekend and kind of going, all right, I have to get stuck into all the animals, give them a good clean, give them a good water and feed and all the rest of it. And then finding two of my brand new depressed that I got, and unfortunately had passed as well. So every day I was with the family, I was on the Grid Connect, checking the temperatures in the room. I was watching the videos, making sure that everything's working as it should be, via the camera and stuff. And who knows, man? I don't 100% know what went on there either. And I can't put that down to enclosure because everything's temping good, even on a hot day.
And you had your Gillens in that enclosure, didn't you?
Yeah.
You traded. So.
Yep. I had them in there for a couple of months before actually shooting them.
But then again, that could have been stressed as well too.
I think it comes down to young animals and just a stressful move.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing with a lot of reptiles is they hide stuff so well. And stress is one of the things that, bring stuff out. And
yeah. That's one of those things that it's, it's tough. But I can happily report that the other depressor, I've kind of nicknamed it Lucky, but that one's firing on all cylinders. Smashes crickets. I can chuck like 10 crickets in there, and it just gorges them and smashes them everywhere. Hey, it's such a fiery little thing.
I've never seen them in the flesh. Hey, I'd love to see them in the flesh.
It's so weird because you look at them and you go, you'd be so slow. Like you just look like a little nugget that
nugget,
But they're so quick. Yeah, it's just like a Gillen's monitor. Like you just go, yep,
skink.
Yep, he's got a little hollow log that he just loves to hide in. First thing in the morning, you're guaranteed to see him basking on top of the hollow log. You chuck the crickets in there, and it runs around like mad chasing them. So, this is just the stuff that you love seeing, but when you're not seeing it, it's a bit heartbreaking. But yeah. Man, people have to talk about negatives. I think that's me.
Yeah, right. You don't really hear positives and all that stuff. You don't really hear negatives too much, and everyone's had them. People 100%. That have had like 2 animals up to people that have got like hundreds of animals.
Yeah, yep. I think the thing too is if you have more animals, you're more likely to see problems.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
And that's just sheer odds.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's one of those things you don't really hear about too much. Like. It's not to do. It doesn't make you a bad keeper or anything like that. If you have stuff like that happen, it's just the way it is.
That's it. Like I don't think of myself like that. I definitely beat myself up about it for a fair bit, just because I'm going, what the fuck am I doing wrong?
What it is, and when you don't know, you're racking your brain. Like, I think we spoke for like 3 days trying to work out. I'll shoot you ideas. You're like, no, it's not that. I'll shoot you more ideas I had, and you just keep racking. And I still rack my brain trying to think. I have a thought. I'm like, it's done like that. He's already,
That is honestly the worst part is not knowing. Like if something's screwed up and you realize that a thermostat's clocked on and it's cooked an animal or something like that. Like, it sucks. At least you can go, that's my fault, or the thermostat, that was the problem or whatever. But not knowing, that's the killer. That's the killer.
That's right. It's not because you don't know, you can't change it and fix it. Like
I can't correct anything if I don't know what it is.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So, but and that's kind of giving you a bit of a thought about downsizing a little bit.
Well, to be honest, like I think there's a lot more reasons that no doubt we'll get into in the coming months about what's kind of happening around in my life in general. But it's one of those things that I was kind of like, I think the time's here. This is it. So I'm going to do it now anyway, just for my sake. I think I just need to kind of back it off a little bit and kind of go, maintain that focus. Man, that frog is a noisy little bugger.
See why I get rid of him. It's funny, to be fair, I can't hear him. Like once that door's closed, you can't hear him from in the house. So it's like the perfect shed to have frogs in. But that's being in the house, I could see how it could be annoying. Like I said, my wife wanted to get frogs in the house. I'm like, just wait till it's like, they're going fully, then come down here and see what you think. So.
Yeah, it's when he starts going off at about 4 a.m, you want to throttle a little bugger.
That's right. So I usually go to work at about 4, so I might actually just pop my head out here one morning and see if he's going or going. So
yeah,
but I love them, man. They're awesome. I like these frogs are just taking me by storm.
They're good things, man. I completely underrated in the hobby. I honestly think that if I had gone into a house, I wouldn't have gotten rid of any of my frogs. I would have kept them for sure. If you had such cool animals.
Yeah, definitely. But being in an apartment's a bit
Yeah. I think because at least I had the garage where I was, so if they weren't croaking, it didn't bother anybody.
It's like frogs outside, but that bothers some people, but I love it. I love hearing the frogs when I go to work in the morning. You can hear I've got 2 marsh frogs. One on my house will go, the one across the road will go. Like it's so funny, just like constantly.
Yeah. So Kieran's actually just asked if we've ever seen a burrowing frog. We have indeed.
Yes, we have.
Yeah,
I think I've got a picture on my Instagram.
I've seen hundreds of those buggers. I had one night where I counted 40 individuals.
Far out. Where was that? Down your way somewhere?
Yeah, just like the local spot that I usually go to that we've talked about, obviously. But there was just one after the next, after the next, after the next, after the next. And that was walking in one direction, so we didn't count them on the way back, just because we're like, well, it could be a double up.
That's right.
Yeah. So I couldn't believe it. That was just like one perfect night for obviously them, and they were just everywhere. Yeah, it was kind of like cool to see the first 5, and then after that, you just start counting them and walking past them, trying to find other things.
Try not to step on them.
Yeah. They're awesome frogs. I love seeing frogs in the bush, man.
Yeah, same.
It's
a good indication of a healthy habitat.
Yeah, we got to go up to the Wattigans and see if we can get some Satropa.
Yeah, definitely.
Photograph a few of those bad boys. I'd love to see them in the wild.
Yeah. No, that's definitely a trip. But Mitch was keen, so when he's got time.
Yeah.
Give up your herp spot.
Sorry, Braden. We keep that sort of stuff a bit tight-chested, as I'm sure you'll appreciate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I'm keen for this downsize. Hey, I'm really keen. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's one of those things that's been a long time coming, and having such a large collection for a number of years now, or a larger collection. Yeah. I think it's just one of those things that I'm excited to do and experiment with, just having fewer animals, see if I can see some more behaviors, do a few larger enclosures and things.
You'll get more time to spend as well, like observing rather than that's one thing I like about this. Like I don't have much stuff anymore, so I don't want heaps of stuff either. So I'm not, every time I come in here, I don't feel like it's a chore almost. Like I'm here, I can come down here and actually just enjoy it. Yeah.
I definitely feel like it's a bit of a chore at the moment.
Yeah. Especially when it's like, it's probably a bit different with snakes as well, because snakes, you just feeding mice and this and that. Yeah. And then, but if you're feeding insect feeders, you're down every couple of days depending on what you've got. Like, you can't just feed them once a week, once every 2 weeks, once every 3. Like snakes, you can feed them. People do it every month, every 2 months, every 2 weeks, whatever it is. So you can vary depending on the size of the meal and this and that. But you got geckos. You kind of every couple of days down feeding crickets and woodies and
That's it. It's kind of a crazy thing that I think a lot of snake people, they don't realize that, or they're smart enough to go.
Could be that.
Bugger the legs, we'll go this route and look after it this way. So I can 100% attest to bug eaters being a hell of a lot more work than a lot of snake people. So it is good during the cooler months of the year, obviously, where they do kind of calm down and you get that little bit of a break. But if you fall into the trap that I do
with hatchies,
I all of a sudden go, this isn't too hard to work. I can add a few more animals. And then summer comes around and you get hatchies and then those extra animals and stuff, and you just go, what the hell have I done? Yeah. I've done it again. So I'm looking forward to really downsizing. So it'll be good. A lot of my larger stuff has to go, unfortunately. I need to make a little bit of space. So try to work out some things that my wife wants to do and do that. But we were going to go to the expo, but I'm not 100% sure that I want to go to the expo to move on some of these critters anymore.
Yeah, you said that today.
Yeah,
it's the old the Rona getting around. So
yeah,
I mean, if you can avoid it. But
well, like, it's not that I'm scared of getting it. The thing that I'm scared about is getting it so close to when we go away on our herp trip.
Exactly. Yeah,
and then that backfiring and then we don't get to go on that. Like, I'd be more bummed about that than having to do like private sales for the next month.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd rather do the private sales and deal with all the questions and all that sort of stuff to go, there's still a good shot that I can go on my herp trip. So it's
100%. Because it's like weeks out, like two weeks from
2 weeks out.
So
yeah.
It'll be it's pretty close. Because I was going to go to both, but the VHS has been cancelled, hasn't it? I think I just saw a post today about the VHS being cancelled.
There we go. Sorry, put the wrong one up.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go, Josh. Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah, the VHS. I didn't know the Sydney one had been canned.
Yeah, I might actually reach out and see if I can happen to get my money back for that one, because I just think it's going to be a smarter move for both of us to maybe avoid the plagues. As much as I'd love to see everybody and actually catch up with people in person, it just seems like that's reared its ugly head at the moment. So, maybe we'll just do it another time.
Yeah, and Kieran just said about the IRS one down in Illawarra. That could be a goer.
Yeah, that would be good.
Everyone might have had it by May.
Well, that's it. Like, I think that's the thing, is they got to let it peak out.
Yeah.
And then kind of most people should hopefully be pretty immune to it, and it should almost fizzle out. So until the next strong strain or something like that comes through, no doubt.
Yeah.
But at least for the time being, if they can, helps the body kind of get a bit of immunity to it, hopefully. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, May would be good. I'm keen to go down to Illawarra and do that.
For sure. It's not really that far of a drive, really, Illawarra.
No, it's not too bad. No, it's not too bad. You make a day of it, like a proper day of it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been driving to Campbelltown for work, so...
Yeah, well, it's nothing to you. It's just another hop, skip, and a jump from there.
That's right. Instead of going that way, it's a little bit that way, so...
Yeah. It's not that bad.
Yeah, no, if everything's kind of settled down by then, definitely probably will go there, even if we just go for a wander and spend the day there and catch up with some people. And
I'd be keen to do something casual like that, I reckon.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of good.
So...
But, oh no, Scott's here. Or Ty. I think it's probably Scott. Hey Scott, how you doing?
How you going, buddy?
Yeah, I think that'd be good to go down there. I think though I'd like to try to offload a few of my animals before we go away though, just so there's a few less critters for my wife and one of my mates to look after. So it'll be interesting to see what goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a fair whack of animals going. I think you're getting a few of them, aren't you, mate?
Probably, yeah.
They can stay here till we're back if you want to, though. No pressure.
Yeah, for sure. It is, man. I've got space here, so.
If you want them, you can take them whenever.
If there's things that you're like, not 100% on getting rid of, there's space here, and then whenever you want them, you can have them back, so.
Yeah. It's, well, I think the things that we've been talking about, like as much as it's going to be tough for me, it's
probably a good thing in a way. That was like me when I had all my stuff. I got run down and working. Like, I would come home from work as much as I'd love just spending time down here, but it became a chore. And then I sold everything. And then my problem was I sold everything.
Yeah.
And I should
have kept a couple of things.
A couple of little things. And I was just... Yeah, and then we're having the kids and then taking the Reptile Park and seeing how much my son loved them. I said to him, and then obviously starting the podcast with you.
Yeah.
And then my wife's like, so I'm guessing we're getting reptiles again. 100%. But yeah, I've kept a leash on it, so I'm going to keep a leash on it. Just got things I want and just things, but yeah. I'm just going to work with them, and that's it.
Well, you say that, but you've been messaging me going, oh yeah, I reckon if you get a few spare of these, I reckon I could get some of those,
But that's it. That's like, honestly, it's the same stuff I've always kind of had, so. But not.
That's it. Yeah,
it's a small number, man. That's what it comes down to. But I think with geckos too, there's a happy number. There's a number where like you're not buying the small packs of crickets from the pet shops, but you can order bulk crickets and they last you a certain amount of time before everything starts to. Because I find I can never, if I buy a big bulk pack, I can never get them to last for weeks. I can only get them to last for a bit over a week for some reason, no matter what I do. Really? Well, maybe 2 weeks. So I can probably squeeze about 2 weeks out of them, but I have a whole bunch just start to drop off. I don't know whether it's too much, too humid in there. I've cut bigger vents on everything. I got like vents both sides. I put food in there. I don't put like water in there per se. Like I put like a little bit of like something they get moisture out of. And then I just cannot.
When you say that, like, are you talking like a sponge with water in it, or are you talking like a piece of carrot, or what are you talking?
Just like a small piece of carrot.
Yeah.
Like enough that they eat it, but and then once it's kind of dried out, I put another piece in. But yeah, I just have some just keep dropping off.
I mean, you're always going to lose a few.
But I lose like if I got 1,000, I'd probably lose a good 300 of them.
Wow. Okay,
I just can't get them to last.
Do you feed them any dry food?
Yeah.
What do you feed them?
I've tried. I used to buy the mix from Live Foods, I think it was. Which was like a dry cricket mix, but there's one I'm gonna try from a Tyson actually got me onto this. There's a local mob on the coast Tyson
Okay,
put them up on his Instagram. So I've just ordered a batch from them, so they should come pretty soon. But they sell like food and stuff, so I'm actually going to try their food.
Yeah,
cricket food. See how that goes. I've made up my own mixes. I've done like a special K mix with like bits of other dried bits and stuff in it. So, but yeah, I just can never get them to seem longer. Last longer than 2 weeks. Don't know what it is. So I've always kind of like bought enough for either a week or 2 weeks, and then that way, I'd get to almost the end of it, do another order, and then by the time that I'd feed whatever was left, that order would come, and I'd just start again.
Yeah,
don't know what it is. Can't work it out.
That's weird. I've been feeding my crickets recently the rat block cubes. Like the cube blocks you feed like feeder rodents and stuff like that.
Yeah, right.
So I bought like a 20 kilo sack of those so I could feed the hoppers some of those as well. And then just whenever I need to feed them, I just chuck a couple of those giant cubes in there with the crickets and, half a carrot or thereabouts. But
yeah, Scott, get rid of all cricket feeding stuff as it's a freaking pain.
Woodies are a pain when they're loose in your apartment too. So it's kind of a trade-off a little bit, but I'm trying to get my woodies cranking at the moment.
Yeah, see out here, like I probably could do woodies, I've got like in the shed next door, I could probably do some woodies in there.
Yeah.
So that'd be pretty interesting. So
Scott's just said apparently that rat and mouse lork pellets work for crickets mixed with dog food. So I think that was the same pellet that I got. Yeah, it was the same pellet that I've got. So it's quite a popular one that a lot of people use when they're breeding rodents. Whether that be for food or, I mean, you have to buy it by a sack, though. That's the drama, though, mate. So, it's cheap. You can buy it from enfieldproduce.com.au, I believe it's called. I want to say it cost me like $40 delivered or something like that.
That's all right.
Yeah, it's not too bad considering the amount of food that you get. So,
yeah,
like I've literally got a 5-litre tub over there sitting on top of another 20-litre tub of it. Like it's a fair amount of food.
I think my container is actually bigger than yours. Like, is yours are those black ones you got up the top of that rack, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah, so my container is actually bigger than that because I thought it might have been maybe a space issue, but I've got heaps of space in mine.
Where are we here?
There, yeah.
I'm on top.
Yeah, how confusing is it, hey? I do it all the time.
Oh, no, it's so backwards. So backwards. Must have been made by an American. Oh, yeah. That's, the little hoppers are doing all right. I don't feel like I'm seeing them as much as what I used to. I don't know if they're just kind of being a little bit shy lately, but I just put some fresh veggies or something like that in there and they come out for a fair while and smash them and then run away and hide. No more babies yet. Yeah, it's a little bit weird, but it is what it is. So what did Scott just say? He buys 4 bags a month and that runs 25 rodent tubs at $33 a bag. That's pretty good going.
Yeah.
If that's getting your rodents out for you. I'd love to have the time to do and space to do my own rodents. Like just to an extent where it's, needed. I have done it a couple of times in the past, but man, it's just so time consuming. You spend more time on the feeders than you do on the actual reptiles that you're wanting to keep. That's my limited experience. Because I was breeding rodents for pets before I actually got into reptiles at all. So, I know how much work goes into those buggers.
2 things my missus hates, and that's cockroaches and rodents.
Yeah.
So I could never breed them.
You don't reckon you could swing her for a couple of Spinifex hopping mice?
Maybe, possibly. She doesn't mind the native stuff, but they're rats. No chance. We had chickens. We used to have chickens. But just so you know, with chickens, they do bring in mice sometimes and rats. And then we had rats. There was a guy next door, and there's like an area of corner of his garden that was just overgrown, and they were in there, living in there, coming in, eating the chicken food and going back. But she hated it. I had to set up the rat traps, and she probably would. She wouldn't mind the natives, but I don't know. I just wish we could have more of the mammals on license in New South Wales, but
yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
I got a few hatchies out at the moment.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you about that. You've got quite a few. You sent me a message today.
Yeah, but more on the way. I got some gillons that are looking like they're getting ready to pop. Knowing my luck, they'll pop like a week before we go or while we're gone.
Yeah,
I just know yeah, because it's like the exact same time last year that this female dropped eggs, and when they hatched. So it's chances are my wife's going to be going, oh, what the hell do I do? And he's in the middle of Kakadu.
Yeah.
So
they probably won't have phone reception either.
Nope.
So
nope. Sleeping under the stars, mate. It'll
be
great. But yeah, no. So I've got 4 Hatchie White Berber out now, 2 Ciliaris aberrans, 1 little Northern Velvet Gecko. All the children's hatched, obviously. The green tree pythons. Gillens on the way, Northern Velvet's on the way, more Ciliaris on the way, Boyd's on the way, more leaf tails on the way. It's all happening.
Nice.
As soon as I get rid of these animals, I'm going to have a whole bunch more animals anyway. So
yeah.
I
mean, you're not going to get rid of any of the Gillens, so.
Nah, the amount of my inbox has been flooded, even with that video. They're like, are you sure you're not getting rid of any Gillens? I'm like, no, nope. Not happening. Not happening. But yeah.
So you've got a pretty good list of what you're getting rid of in your head kind of thing? Or?
Yeah, I'll put it out there because I know what it is now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be moving on. Actually, I already have moved on one of my diamonds, my oldest diamond.
Yeah. That's your first one, isn't it?
My favorite diamond. Yeah. So
the one you moved.
Yeah. So it just happened to line up right where a guy contacted me kind of out of the blue that I know. I bought a green tree python off him in the past. And I was like, if you're ever going to sell this particular diamond, I'd be really interested in her and da-da-da-da-da. And like, I know he's a really good keeper.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, so happens that I'm actually was going to sell her in like a month's time, so if you're keen for her, then I'm more than happy for you to take her home. So he drove up from the snowy mountains on Sunday to come and grab us. So
awesome.
Yeah, really glad that she's gone to a good home. Like, as much as I love all my animals, like that was one animal that was like one of those ones that was going to be really tough to move on. So
because there's that sentimental attachment to it as well.
Oh man, like my wife was in tears, I was in tears, like it was just one of those things, but I was just like, I know this has to happen. So at least I know that she's going to a good home. And he's like already sending me videos of her, and like he's building a massive 6-foot enclosure. He's done like a bank of 6-foot enclosures because he's getting into a few diamonds.
Yeah.
And then he's like, sending me videos of her like stretched out on the lawn getting sun, and I'm like, awesome. That's awesome, because I used to do that with her heaps. Yeah. And I can't obviously now in an apartment, so I'm kind of glad that at least she's got that opportunity to be properly loved, So so diamonds are going. My jungle python's going to be going. My olive python's going to be going. My water pythons are going to be going, but I'm pretty sure they've got a new home already, so that's all sorted. Good. So that they're potentially going to go and stay with Kurt Lamotte. So the guy that gave me the Tristus. So I thought I'd do him a favour and give him these. He's keen on them, so I said, take them. They're yours. What else? The brown tree snakes are going. The leaf tails are going. Prickly forest skinks are going. The northern velvets are going. Yeah. But there's not going to be a lot left, to be honest. It's going to be keeping all the monitors.
Yeah.
Keeping the roughies.
Kind of your thing, so.
Yeah, they always have been, I think.
And roughies are
as
awesome.
Roughies are bloody awesome. They're an animal that I'd probably quite happily just get another 1 or 2 just to have another couple like juvies or something like that to grow up.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'd be really cool. Keep in mind, guys, anyone listening, some of these stuff have already found homes. So, there's some things here that I'll probably have to skip out on a few people if you're asking about this sort of stuff. So monitors are staying. I'm going to be keeping a lot of the arid geckos. So the aberrans are staying. The Fimbria are staying. I quite enjoy those. Obviously, all the Gillens are staying. That's just a no-brainer. But yeah, like I think I'm just going to make like a bit of an arid room with a few kind of like forest species as a bit of a side
thing. Keeping the boys, obviously.
Yeah, keeping the boys. I'm keen on them, man. I really love them as an animal.
Yeah, so do I.
I don't know about yours, but mine is so friendly. Like
mine are
mine like run out and like run around the floor here and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
right. Mine are put your hand in the enclosure, and they're like frilling out on you, like puffing their necks out and running away, and
Yeah.
I mean, it can hand feed them.
Yeah.
They'll freak out at first. They'll move behind the stick. Do the old, you can't see me, but you can see them. Yeah. And then they'll like puff the throat out. And then they realize you got a cricket and go, oh, no, actually, I'll take that cricket. And then you'll put your hand in it again. They do it again. And they go, oh, no, I'll take that cricket. So, I mean, I've held them in that. They kind of do that, like, if they're running around and you try and grab, I don't bother. I just let them go. Unless it jumped out of the enclosure, I might pick them up and put them back in. But
yeah,
if they run around, I just leave them. But, you know, if I get them off the perch, they're usually pretty good. They'll sit there. They'll sit in your hand for a bit.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you know. But, yeah, they're a little bit sketchy. But, I mean, they're not like a beardy, so.
No, exactly. That's it.
I didn't buy them to be a beardy either, so.
I think the thing that might have changed with my particular situation is kind of similar to you when I was in my last house. I had them in a garage where I wasn't in there all the time.
Yeah.
Whereas now, being part of my unit, I walk in here multiple times a day. I might be doing something on the computer or whatever, so they're watching me heaps more. Yeah. So maybe that's just made them a little bit more chilled out with me to realise that I'm not actually a threat. So
yeah, so I only come in here either feed stuff, look at stuff. Yeah, and obviously do the podcast. That's kind of it, really. No one else comes in here. So whereas you've kind of got that little bit of foot traffic. And they kind of need a door there as well, so, you know.
Oh, yeah, they'd feel us, you know, physically vibrating the floor and stuff like that, no doubt. And my wife loves sticking her head in here and stuff like that, and poking around. I always catch her. I catch her because of the Grid Connect camera. I'll be at work and I'll be like, it'll tell me that something's
movement.
Yeah. It gives me the signal, and I'm like, "What the hell?" And then I catch her, and she's just doing these ones, looking at enclosures or whatever.
Oh, that's good.
Then I yell at her through the camera. I'm like, "Hey, you're setting it off. Leave my animals alone."
Yeah. Oh, that's good. You kind of worked out where you want to move on there. Ryan Cox asked a question there too. Oh. I've never kept pink tongue skinks. Never.
No, I haven't either. Although Marcus did offer some to me recently, and I was pretty intrigued. But I think if I was going to do them, I'd like to do them outside.
I always thought of doing them as in a cohab with boys.
Yeah. Well,
something along those lines, depending on size, and I think I've seen it done somewhere actually.
The pink tongues can get pretty big from what Marcus was saying. Like he was saying, sort of like almost like 50 odd centimeters or something for some of his localities.
Yeah,
he's got. So that's a pretty impressive skink. They're a cool skink.
Yeah, I heard they can be bastards and things too.
Yeah, Marcus was saying too that he had heat on his, so I don't know how that would go. The Boyds, unless it was just like already a warm cage as is, like ambiently warm or something. Maybe I don't know. But he was saying, oh no, I think it was because he had his outside.
Okay, yeah.
So for the cooler times of year or whatever, I think he was putting heat on them. Maybe that was it. I can't quite remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be an awesome animal to keep though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see the picture, the one that someone posted the other day on Facebook down in Victoria? A wild one? They were like, Mitch commented on it.
I found
it. Yeah, and he basically just told them to contact the wildlife agency down there, DLWP, whatever they are. But it's like a wild one. Some people thought it might have been albino. It was just basically it was full. It was basically like caramel. The whole thing was a caramel color. There was no stripes or anything on it.
Yeah, wow.
But you could tell it was a pink tongue.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was that clear.
Yeah, but yeah, it looked awesome. It's like a caramelly, color. It looked awesome. But
I'm keen to see a photo of that. If anybody's got that photo, shoot it to me, please. Yeah, I'd love to see it. But yeah, almost patternless. Kieran's saying.
Yeah, it pretty much was. It had like a slight little black on its thing, maybe its nose and its tip of its tail or something, but maybe a slight little bit. But it was almost patternless. But you know that like in between color, it's got like the black and then the band.
Yeah.
The banded the other color the whole way through, like it's almost had.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it.
I don't know if it was patternless or if it was some type of,
I thought you could get patternless pink tongues, or am I thinking of she oaks? Sure. I know my she oak's got no pattern to it, but I'm just trying to think of what I'm pretty sure you can get, or some. Yeah, I could be wrong there. I don't know my skinks too well, obviously. Yeah, you can. Kieran's saying. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, cool skinks though, man. I find that
Yeah.
the Sheoks are kind of just like a smaller version of them. I think like Sheoks
Yeah.
have honestly got such a little personality to them, like much like the pink tongues and blueies and stuff like that. Like my guy gives me so much grief.
There you go. Marcus breeds patterns, pink tongues too.
I thought so. I just didn't want to call him out just in case he didn't. But I was pretty sure that he did have some. So if you think of skinks, you obviously get associated with Marcus. Marcus has got bloody everything.
Yeah,
he's doing pretty good for himself with those.
But yeah, no, they are awesome skinks though. I never really thought of keeping them. I did actually. No, I lie. I did actually think about it when I had all my other stuff removed, everything on. But it was kind of, I just never did anything with it. So
put it on the 1 day list, mate. There's a lot of species on my 1 day list. Just have a bit of fun with.
Yeah.
While we're speaking of different species, though, what do you reckon about this question?
The hardest geckos to keep in the hobby. Just curious. What do you reckon? I have a species in mind, but I'm trying to remember how to pronounce the name. 2 seconds. And I'll tell you what I think.
Granite belt thick-tailed geckos is what I'm thinking of off the top of my head. Just for, I hear that they're super sensitive. Well, I can't even think of the Latin on them, but they're like UV something, aren't they?
Uvediculus virus or something along those lines.
Yeah,
I'm not really good with scientific names.
I just know that they've been like an absolute mission to try to get established, probably more so than keeping.
I think it's more the breeding side of things that it's the harder because they need a little bit cooler. A
lot of people say leaf tails are hard, but I reckon that's absolute bullshit.
Yeah. I can't remember
every single one of my leaf tails has been a dream. Hey,
yeah,
I'm very lucky there.
I honestly can't remember the name of the species. It's a termite eating gecko. I can't remember. I know Ursula keeps them or kept them.
Well, yeah, of course. Any termite specialist is going to be an absolute pain in the ass.
Yeah, I know Ursula kept them, but she actually had access to termites. So Diplod.
All the Diplodactylus and stuff like that.
There you go. Yeah, Diplodactylus conspiculatus. That's the one. Maybe.
There we go.
I'm pretty sure that's it there, yeah. Beaked geckos, that's the one. Yeah.
Beaked geckos.
I reckon they would be. Purely just because, you got to feed them termites. But
I'd love to try it, though. Like, one day. Because I think a lot of people do convert them over to, like, extra small crickets and stuff like that.
I don't think you can.
Easy. Really?
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm thinking of fat-tailed geckos.
Yeah. I think it's the conspiculatus is, I'm pretty sure they only eat the termites.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, chameleon geckos, people said they were hard.
Yeah.
But I've never really had too much of an issue with them. But I think it's a lot of those like leaf tails and the whole thing come from the temperature. People were maybe at the start keeping them with heat and this and that. It's saying that, like, I've had days when my room gets up to like 30 plus degrees and I put precautions in place, but
yeah,
I
was going to say, like, this room taps out once it gets to 28 degrees, but it can still rise higher than that. But the hottest I've ever seen the room sensor in here was 29. But I can guarantee you that all my leafies have been in my garage when it's like closer to 37.
Yeah,
not ideal, but they can handle a little bit.
The grid connect at the top of this rack, so it's only like 200 mil from the roof, and it can be 28 degrees outside, and that says it's 30.
Really?
Yeah. But obviously, it's relatively accurate. But before I had this, I had leaf tails, like this was when I kept on my leaf tails, in the same size enclosure, pretty much in the exact same spot as that. So the top of the enclosure would have been 30 if it says it was 30. And that was Wyberba as well that I had up there. And I never lost a Wyberba. They always laid eggs. And they were hatched in the enclosure. So yeah, I mean, I think it's if familiar. I think it's if they're there for kind of, long periods of time at those high temperatures. But yeah, Mitch said suppose it was a sales pitch back in the day. I suppose they really didn't convert well to crickets.
I think he's referring about the Diplodactylus there.
Yeah.
Converting crickets, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I heard they only have eight termites, so but yeah, you don't see anyone with them anymore. But I know
saw a few fat tail geckos though out in the NT. That was really cool.
I've never seen them. So I'd love to see some. Like I said, anything out there is a first for me. So I'm just going to be, and anything gecko related, I'm just going to lose my It's saying that, mate. Anything really, I'm just going to be like a kid in a candy store, like I was with that Burton's. We found that Burton's.
That was really cool to see you losing your shit over like stuff that I'm just like,
yeah, it's a Burton's, yeah. But I was like, man, this is awesome. Like, and the color, I love that color, that bronzy color. That was stunning. So,
yeah, I'm really looking forward to this trip. I think I actually needed just to kind of revive a little bit of my passion. Like
it does. You you forget that, I
think every trip that I've been on and I come back, like I just come back so much stronger, so much more eager, so much more excited to do things with my animals and change and chop things up. So yeah. I think just being in that kind of, I just feel better being in that sort of place, just out in the bush. I'm just happy in the bush.
And simple out in the bush too,
Doesn't have to be fancy, does it?
No. Into the stars, sweating your backside off. Well, that gets pretty cold at night time sometimes, but
I don't think we're going to have that problem, mate. I think we're going to have the problem of overheating more than more so.
Flies. But yeah, I'm super keen.
Yeah, we'll get a few flies, no doubt, but I don't even think they were that bad when I was up there.
Yeah.
But in the centre, they were horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible in the centre. But yeah, Darwin wasn't that bad. No, I'm super keen, man. I've got like a list of things that I'm starting to put together, of stuff that I'd love to see. Obviously it's a wish list, and what you get's what you get. But and anything else is kind of bycatch, which would be awesome. But man,
everything's new, so everything's on my list.
Well, as we've talked about many times, man, pretty much everything's new for me too, apart from water pythons. But I still want to see a water python in good nick, like that one that smashed Luke's camera. It looked awesome.
Yeah, Luke's got some good stuff recently too. So
yeah.
He's been posting
super keen.
But,
he was super excited that day that we booked the tickets, and he was just like, yes, finally, you've actually done it.
Tell me the
date. Yeah, no, that was super exciting.
It'd be good to catch up with Luke. Obviously we saw him at the Expo, but last year. But, before that, I'd seen Luke for years before that, so...
Oh, it'll be good. I'm looking forward to just hanging out for a few days with some like-minded folk and
just
kind of purge the system of reptile.
It's funny. I was out in the fridge getting some beer, and like my missus, I look at my missus and she had this smirk on her face. I go, "What?" Like your wife's got that look, and she's thinking something, and she's thinking something, and she thinks it's funny. I go, "What?" She goes, "Nothing. I'll tell you later." I go, "No, what is it?" She goes, "It's funny. You've spoken to reptiles a bit with me." Like, ever since we've been together. She goes, I always listen, but, I just kind of went in one ear out the other kind of thing. And she goes, now you talk about reptiles with a guy and drink beer and everyone listens to you. Like, I don't know about everyone, but, I said it's just good to...
we still have a few listens, clearly.
Yeah,
but it's...
It's funny.
To be fair, like, we talked a fair bit, regardless of podcast or whatever like that. We talk a little bit, but it's good to be able to actually talk face to face.
Yeah,
if a few people listening, that's fine.
Exactly, and have a beer as well. Like,
I'm going
to stop drinking beer during the week, but like I'm like, I've got to drink on Tuesdays. Tuesday's my week.
Yeah, I know.
Day to drink, but
doesn't take me much to get dusty. So my boss always knows if we've done a podcast if I come in the next day.
I'm not too bad.
I'm not bad, but yeah. I think I'm just a bit slower the day after.
I'll tell you what, though, the older I get, and it depends on the beer I drink too, because I usually drink pale ales. So depending on the pale ale you're drinking, how hoppy it is, and this and that, the next day 4 beers can give you a filthy headache.
What do we got there?
I haven't tried that one actually. Twisted Palm.
I can't remember where I got it from. I think I just grabbed it from Dan Murphy's.
Yeah, so I love doing that. I got a little bottle. I think I've spoken numerous times. A little bottle down the road, and they've just got heaps of craft beers. I'm on the purple Coopers.
You love those tins, don't you?
I like Coopers. I always like Coopers. But Tyson has got some awesome. He's got like on the top of his enclosures, he's got all these like beer cans he's drunk, like all the like different types of beer. I'm like, that's pretty cool. You're gonna have to, when we go up, we'll have to go up for a few beers up there. It's a room that you just want to sit in and drink, and like,
especially seeing the animals there too. Like he's got immaculate enclosures that are just really nice looking, like actual habitats. And
he's
I've always been blown away by that.
It is. I like, because I took my son as well, because like, I took him there, and he's just like, just standing there wide-eyed at this enclosure. I'm like, whoa. And because he's got some olives as well, like they're huge. And he's just standing there like, whoa. But it was awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Frizy. Oh, yeah. Frizy. Frizy sent us some stickers too. I sent you a message the other day. So yours are in the mail, Frizy, too. I've sent you your ones as well.
I need to get mine made up one day. I think I've already put them on my Teespring store, but I just haven't actually got the, kind of like the generic buy $100 or whatever like that and hand them out to all your mates.
But it's good because like your logo, you get the ones that aren't like we've got the podcast logo and they're just round, but my one's got like the tail that hangs out the side, and Frizy's one's got I think he's got the head and that hangs out the side and stuff like that. It's cool.
Yeah, and I think he's got the tail as well because his is awesome. He's got the Kimberley Rock Monitor and the Amier hanging off the rock and stuff like that. Yeah, it looks wicked. Because I think Killer Job.
Yeah, Luke did a killer job on his. He did ours, my one, and your one as well. And I think we spoke. I was going to get him to probably do up a new logo for the podcast, I think.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, so we can change it up.
Mix it up a bit and maybe get some more stickers and stuff. That way we can take something along to the next expo we go to. But I got some off. I've been watching their back, what would you call it, a back catalogue? They posted up videos a while ago of, what's it called? It's a frog one. I can't remember the name of it now. I got some of their stickers as well.
Podcast?
Pobblebonks and Kundagungans.
What?
Have you seen those guys on YouTube? They basically just go frogging. Where are my stickers?
Australians too, by the sounds of it.
Yeah, Aussie guys.
Oh, bloody hell.
Give me 2 seconds and I'll get their stickers.
This is going to be awesome. Pobblebonks and something rather. I didn't even catch the second word. Australians have such weird names for some of our frogs, that's for sure. Oh, here we go. Pobblebonks and Kundagungans. Bloody hell. Subscribe to that bad boy already.
These guys are on YouTube.
Yeah.
And obviously they've got like their stickers.
They've got a range of them, hey?
Yeah.
Oh, that's wicked.
So I got some of their stickers the other day. So part of my sticker collecting as well.
Mate, I'm keen to watch some of these videos now.
But yeah, they got some, because they put a video there, but they pretty much just go frogging. They see other few different things in that as well. And I think they go with a couple of other guys have been in their videos, a couple of good herpers as well. Ben, I can't remember his last name, but I've followed him for a while on Instagram. But yeah, go give these guys a follow on
Sounds
YouTube.
Like they need to post a little bit more often to keep the masses pleased.
Yeah, I think they had a bit of a break in between through COVID and this and that and didn't post much. But yeah, they just posted up a video the other day.
Oh, sick.
So yeah, kind of got my frog fix on over. It's good to see Aussie content, Like
it is.
Heaps of American stuff on YouTube, and then they're obviously Aussie guys, and yeah, it was awesome. Pobblebonks and Kundagungans. I didn't know how to pronounce the last word, to be honest, and I heard them, so I'm like, yes.
You buggered off, and I butchered it 2 or 3 times while I was trying to sit here.
I couldn't remember where I put my stickers. They're in my book rack, so I'm going to collect stickers and maybe do it like you done, a sticker board somewhere.
Do the sticker board, man. I'm regretting not making a bigger one, but it's a good start. I can always add more.
So I might even do a sticker folder.
Sticker folder.
Plastic
and
sleeves.
actually stick them into the folder, or just collect the stickers and slip them into the sleeves?
I'll probably stick them to something so then I can just do it on like black paper.
Yeah.
I've just got all the stickers. It'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be wicked. It's almost like a bit of history.
Like,
It seems a bit funny these days, but it's so common for everyone to do stickers.
But there was a while ago, it was business cards, because I think stickers have got, a lot more accessible now to print and whatnot. But everyone had business cards years ago. A bunch of people. I wish I had it. Like, you'd buy something off someone and they'd send you a business card. I wish I kept all those business cards, because that'd be something else pretty cool. It's almost like a bit of history.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
yeah.
But
I think you're right, though. I think there needs to be more Australian content out there as far as anything reptile or animal related in general.
Yeah.
Especially like just getting the natives out there and talked about and seen and
loved.
Some
of the awesome herpers as well. That's the good thing about like the Natural Herp Keeper, their channel, and like Ricky Mac's channel. Like seeing some of the stuff that people don't see and like the awesome herpers.
Yeah.
But
I'm hoping that Michael and Kai filmed their trip that they've recently been on, because it seems like they've killed it with some species that they've seen.
Yeah.
I know they were talking about doing recently. That. Yeah.
I've been chatting with Mental Blank. He joined the chat before. I can't remember his name. I have a mental blank. I'm terrible with names. I'll talk to him heaps. He's just sitting there laughing at me.
You and me both, because I just butchered Jamison's name like a billion times in the chat.
Yeah.
So
I can't even remember his name. We saw him the other night when we were herping.
Ollie,
there you go. How did I forget Ollie? Yeah.
I have no idea.
He's been getting some of the pictures he's posted on. I'm like, he's getting some awesome stuff.
Yeah.
But how the hell did I forget that?
He moved around the corner from me, apparently.
Yeah. I think he's like not far from you at all.
No, he's like I think 5 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Maybe
literally. 10. Yeah. I think because he told me relative, I'm like, I'm pretty sure you're like around the corner from Luke almost. So I'm like, get some good herp trips organised, local ones and different areas that we haven't been to, especially for us, because I think he's been to quite a few of them. So
yeah, it's funny. Like the weather hasn't been well, in my opinion, it hasn't been ideal for herping a lot this year.
Good for frogs.
Good for frogs, 100%. No denying that. So maybe we need to do. Speak of the devil. Maybe we need to do a little bit more frogging or something this year, just to kind of take the edge off. But I'm keen to do a bit more. I'm just kind of we haven't had those like 32, 35 degree days kind of blat through and warm everything up properly. So
yeah. But I saw Cam got the anglehead that crossed on the road up on the coast. He was up here
Cam Candy?
Ago. Yeah.
Oh, wicked.
Yeah, he got an anglehead crossing the road. Pretty cool picture of it sitting on like a dirt road. So.
Oh, crazy.
I've been doing a bit of driving with the kids up kind of the back, kind of near where we were.
Yep.
Herping and trying to, I think I might have found a few other spots up that way as well.
Sick.
Good. So.
Yeah, wicked. Well, I'm keen, man.
Picnic lunch the other day and the local lace monitors decided to visit. I tell you what, they're game buggers, eh? It's funny, like, if that was me without my kids, I would not have cared two craps. But having two kids and sitting there, and this lace monitor, like there was one near us, he can't kind of come over. But then the bigger one come over and then come right up to the table and just did a lap around the table. And I was like, back, if I didn't have the kids, I would have been like, this is awesome, getting down, take a bit of your first thought's like, man, if these kids move too quick, jump off this table.
Yep. Get that monitor response triggered.
100%. And obviously he's there for food because people are feeding him.
Oh, yeah.
And this and that. And then as soon as we got all, like, packed everything up, went to the car, he walked straight over to the garbage bin, climbed up into the garbage bin, see what was in there.
Yeah.
I mean, I only threw a juice bottle in there, like, because we went and bought a juice for the kids. And you thought, what'd you put in there? Climbed up in there, climbed into the bin. Oh, nothing in there, climbed back out.
They're so smart, honestly.
I know.
They're just like bin chickens, but a reptile.
Yeah, pretty much. They're reptile, yeah. But Yeah, bin reptiles. But yeah, it was absolutely massive. And I'm like, the damage that thing could do to a 1-year-old in a second.
Man. Yeah.
Like a
Well,
second.
you see what they do to adults, mate. They
100%.
take off
And
fingers
they're quick
and stuff.
too. They're so quick. And I was just, whole time I'm like, kids sat on the table, and I was just kind of, the whole time I was just kept an eye on it. I knew he wasn't going to try and do anything to the kids, but it's like, if the kids move quick and scared it, it only takes a split second. But
yeah, they're crazy beasts, mate. And I know we've got where I was living, we had a kind of little campground that was down near there on the Pittwater, and people would obviously feed the lacies and stuff there quite a bit. And
every time I've seen that, I'm like, do you guys not understand the damage those things can do? Like,
yeah, I saw one guy trying to hand feed one of them an egg. I'm like, you're a F-wit, like just waiting for his fingers to go, and he must have just like tossed it at the last moment into its mouth or whatever. I'm like, oh, man. That hits an artery,
100%. Yeah, especially where I was. It's a fair trip to the hospital. Like, if you don't have a first aid kit, you're kind of well up shit creek with that paddle. So obviously I've got first aid kits in the car and that, but it's funny how your whole perception changes, Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah. If it was just me and my mates, I wouldn't have thought anything. As soon as it come over, I'm like, kids just picked them straight up and sat them both on the table. And I'm like, I would not have done that. I wouldn't have even thought 2 seconds if I was just like, if me and you were there having something to eat, I wouldn't have thought it,
Yeah.
Like, it's going to do anything. But you just automatically switch modes. So
I thought it was funny the first time that we went herping at that particular spot together when, the road was a little bit tight and a little bit sketchy, like it was a bit bendy and stuff like that. And you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to be walking this road in case a car comes flying up.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, probably shouldn't be. I was so casual about it. And you're like, I'm kind of thinking about it, like I've got to go home to the kids. And
but then the second time we went down there, but there wasn't as many cars on the road that night. There was heaps of cars on that first night.
Yeah.
It was like 20 cars, I reckon.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Because we even said that. We even said there's Scott character building. That's also another word for divorce, I believe. But yeah, that first night, the amount of cars that were coming up and down, I was like, I don't know if I want to walk down that one. But going down there, there's a bit more room than I thought there was.
Yeah.
But
that's
where we found most of the stuff too. Once we kind of trekked down there. So I think next time we might go that bit and then go down and then walk the other way, like go down, come up, and then go back the other way kind of thing.
I can go down the bottom, walk up, and then at least you can just walk down.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea.
It's always easier walking down at the end of the night.
Yeah, that's right. You don't realise how much you walk on that little spot, do you? Like, that's a fair walk.
Oh, what has Mitch said here? Sorry, I love a good camo story. Old scamo camo. You guys ever seen that Camo's reptile feeding video mishap with the lacy? Looks painful. No, I haven't. If
is that the one where it
there,
jumps?
I want to see it.
I think I've seen it actually. Is that the one where it jumps off like something and grabs? Yeah, I think I actually have seen it. I saw it years ago from memory. I thought I hadn't, but then actually I vaguely remember it now because he's got that big enclosure, I think, doesn't he? From memory.
Yeah.
Big lace enclosure.
Yeah.
Ask Minnie about the Amnicola Wanda.
That sounds like torture.
Yeah. But yeah, they're definitely can do some damage. So,
mate, yeah, I'd hate
even
to be able
some of the smaller ones can.
I'd hate to get bitten by my mangrove. Like she's only 4 foot, but she's big enough.
Yeah.
And she's bluff charged me a couple of times, and a little bit of wee came out. So
they're definitely intimidating. But yeah. I mean, their teeth are there for a reason. So
I know what they can do. That's the thing.
And it's like it's their eyes as well. You can see they're thinking. They're not just like a snake that kind of curls back and gets whack. They're looking at you, and they think there's something going through that mind. Like,
yeah, I think especially once you start getting into that kind of slightly larger monitor as well, like they are way more in tune than the small guys. Like, don't get me wrong, I love my Gillons, I love my Kimbo, Loki is so switched on all of the time. She's watching everything I do, every movement. She learns it. She knows the patterns. Like, I have to try to be so careful not to throw rodents in the same door and stuff like that. Like, I try to like alter different sort of situations and that. But yeah, she's quite switched on. Scott's just said they're all shit. Yeah. But some are worse than others. Yeah, he's been bitten by 14 monitor species apparently. I don't know what I'm up to. I think I'm only up to like 3, so I'm nowhere near that. I'd like to keep it that way if possible. But
everything just seems to bite me too, so I try and stay away from the body end.
Maybe we can get some like numbers knocked off the list if you want to come around and get bitten by some stuff. You can just come around.
Guarantee you'll hand me something that's never even struck at you, and you give it to me, and it'll bite me. I don't know what it is. Maybe I just think I'm an asshole or something like that. I don't know.
Who knows?
But, yeah, it's pretty funny.
What do you reckon, mate? How you feeling? You got anything else you need to get off your chest for today after this long-winded catch-up session?
No, not that I can think of, man. It was good just to have a chat again. And
it's been a while.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
I had all these plans for Christmas of things I was going to do, but the weather dampened a lot of it. And then, I wanted to do a little bit of herping over the Christmas break, but just the weather wasn't good for it. And then the one night that looked pretty good, I couldn't do it. So
it's always the way, isn't it? I always find that with my mates. Everyone's messaging me going, tonight's the night. And I'm like, shit, I've got something on, can't.
And I can't just drop everything as well because I've obviously got kids. So it's a bit hard to just go, sweet. I kind of wish I'd started herping a lot longer ago, maybe when I first started keeping reptiles.
Yep.
Because back then I could have just been more. But then again, I didn't really have that many mates that were into reptiles.
Yeah, well, that makes it hard.
It's a bit easier now, having social media and that where you can actually talk to people. You post pictures and people send you a message and you just chat and then you become mates online. It's like, hey, let's go for herp. Yeah, sweet. But back when I started, it wasn't really like that. So all my mates, I had one mate that had a snake, but he's the one that got me into it, but he wasn't really into it. We went, I think, twice herping. That was it. But we found a couple of geckos. That's it. So, but yeah. So I kind of wish I got in a bit early so I could just go, tonight I'm done. Let's go. But
we've we've been summoned to do a show. I know we do by the great Nipper Reed.
Surprised he call us bogans.
It's nice to be called guys for once.
Yeah.
Usually it's filthy bogans or something of the like. So oh, thanks, Nipper. Yeah, we should need to do a show like that actually. I think I've actually started saving down the names of a lot of people that I want to get onto this show too. Mitch has been really gracious and kind of giving us a lot of ideas and stuff like that. There we go. You bogans. Mitch has been giving me heaps of ideas of a few people that I want to get on the show, and no doubt we've got a few of our own as well. But
we've got a few that we'd lined up kind of last year that kind of said they'd come on, but wanted a little bit more happening and this kind of thing as well. That'll come on pretty soon. So
it'll be interesting to see how this year plans out. Jason and I are going to try to go pretty hard this year and see if we can get some stuff rolling in. Obviously, it might take us a few episodes to warm back up again for the year to kind of get in the swing of things while a lot of people are still on holidays and stuff. But no, I'm excited, mate. I'm excited. I'm bloody excited to get out there. So it'll be good this year. I reckon.
Might have to do one on the road, kind of while we're away.
I reckon it'd be killer if we happen to be in a patch that's got good reception. If we did like a
live stream,
some sort of like live stream from there, and even if it was just like Luke, you and me sitting down around a little, campfire or something, making our dinner or something like that before we go out for the night, just having a yarn to people, that would be perfect.
Yeah, I reckon we should definitely try that. The audio.
Worst case, I'll be. Absolute worst case, I'm going to try my best to film it all anyway, so we can put some videos out there, and no doubt Jason and Luke will kill it on the photo side of things. So we'll be able to bring you heaps of content.
Bring in my GoPro as well, so I can film a little bit of extra stuff as well.
Yeah, 100%. May as well.
Yeah.
Did you get a new GoPro, or did you got an old one?
I've got a 4, I think. A GoPro Hero 4, I believe.
So okay. Yeah, I think I've got that one. I think I got a 5 or a 6, but I just I'm going to bring it, but I just don't find the quality's that good for some stuff. But anyway,
my father-in-law's got a new one. I might even just see if I can borrow his for a bit.
If you can get a 10 or something with the like stabilization capability and that sort of stuff, like
awesome.
they shit all over everything.
Yeah,
they're great.
He's got one. Pretty sure he might even have a 10, or he was looking at the 10, but he had it old. I don't know. He buys stuff like that all the time. He's like a gay gadget guy. Loves his cameras as well. So he's into photography as well. So we quite often go out like sunrises, shoot sunrises and stuff. When I was living at their place when we were saving for a house. So.
Oh, cool.
But yeah.
Oh, it's always good when you can share a hobby with your father-in-law. It's always a good one.
That's right. Yeah. So
I got my father-in-law into fish.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. He's got his office with 3 fish tanks in it now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's got a little saltwater tank, a cichlid tank, and then just like a random tank that all these other random fish end up in. But yeah.
Good stuff.
Helps that I work at a fish shop, so I just bring home tanks and go, oh, you got this now. And he's like, oh, sick. You know, he gets all excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of which, before we go, when are you getting these turtles?
Yeah, so I went to get that tank the other day, but that was when we had to isolate, so I should get it this weekend.
Ah, okay.
So basically cut the tub off it, fill it up with water, and then good to go.
Yeah, sick. I completely forgot about that because I know he's running out of food down there. So
yeah, no, it'll be
drop off the tub to him.
Probably, pretty soon. I should I'll message the guy today actually, so I should hopefully pick it up on the weekend. Cut the top off, fill it up with water. So
Bob's your uncle.
Exactly. I've got the filter and everything, so got the spot for it. Yeah. That was one of the things I was going to do over the break, but when I organised to pick it up with the guy, and then we had to go get the COVID test. I was like, can't make it today, mate. Sorry.
Yeah.
So
rough trot.
Yeah.
Alrighty, mate.
So
yeah, well, that's just an angle grinder jobby. That's 10 minutes of cutting and then filling with water.
Take longer to fill up with water than it will to cut the lid off.
Yeah. Oh, mate, an angle grinder is like butter on most of that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So I've got actually a little portable bandsaw as well. That might be a little bit quicker for those bits of metal. And then just grind at the lid.
Yep.
So.
Like a hot knife to butter.
That's it.
All right, guys, so we'd like to sign off here and say thank you to Eric and Owen and the rest of the NPR crew for having us. If you'd like to contact them, it's best to find them at moreliapythonradio.net and email them at info@moreliapythonradio.net. Make sure to go and follow NPR Network on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, all at NPR Network. As far as contacting us on our social media platforms, you can email us at australianherpetoculture@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram as well. Make sure to check us out check out our Teespring store for podcast merch. The link is on the Facebook page. To see more of what Jason's doing, make sure to follow him on Facebook and Instagram at The Gecko Effect. And for myself, you can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Patreon, and Teespring under Beach of Scaly Beasts. I hope to have you back next week for another episode of the Australian Herpetoculture Podcast. Good night, guys.
Good night.